Is your brand actually driving business performance? Welcome to this episode, From Brand Visibility to Business Values. We talk about brand awareness, we talk about reach, we talk about engagement, and we talk about impressions. But here's the question I want to explore today. Are these activities actually contributing to business performance? Because getting attention is not the same of creating value. And this is where I believe marketing needs to have a much bigger conversation with the business. Welcome for today's episode. My name is Sarah, and today I want to talk about something every marketing leader should be asking. How do we ensure brand activity contributes directly to business performance? Because marketing can easily become focused on activity, like we've published content, we launch campaigns, we generate impressions, we increase followers, and we report engagement. But when the leadership team asks, what did all of this actually do for the business? So that's where things can become more complicated. The problem with vanity metrics. Let's be clear. I'm not saying impressions, reach, or engagement don't matter. They do. But they are indicators, not necessarily business outcomes. Imagine a campaign generates 200,000 impressions. That sounds impressive. But what if those impressions came from people who have no relevance to your business? Now, compare that with campaign reaching 5,000 highly relevant decision makers and generating 20 qualified opportunities. Which campaign created more business value? And the answer is obvious. This is why marketing needs to move beyond how many people saw us and start asking, who did we influence for? What did they do and what happened next? Connecting brand to a business, I believe should be a clear line between the business objectives and the marketing activity. And it starts with what does the business needs to achieve? Then who do we need to influence? And then what should they think, feel, or believe about our brands? What action do we want them to take? And finally, what business outcome should that action contribute to? That creates a simple journey. Business objectives, brand strategy, customer engagement, customer action, and then finally business outcome. When those elements are connected, marketing becomes much more strategic. And because brand is not just about immediate sales, there is another important point. Not every brand activity will generate a lead tomorrow. Brand building is often a long-term investment. Thought leadership builds authority. Consistent communication builds familiarity. Customer success story builds credibility. And executive visibility builds trust. And trust can influence a buying decision long before someone fills out the form or contact your sales team. So, we need to measure both short-term commercial performance and long-term brand value. The mistake is expecting every brand activity to produce an immediate transaction. And marketing and sales must work together. This is where marketing and sales align becomes critical. Marketing shouldn't operate in one room while sales operates in another. Marketing needs to understand what sales is hearing from customers and what objections are they facing, what problems are prospects trying to solve, what information do decision makers need before they buy, and sales should understand how marketing is building awareness, credibility, and demand. When both teams are work together, content stops just being content. It becomes a sales enablement tool. Brand communication becomes part of the customer journey. And marketing becomes much easier to connect to commercial outcomes. The leadership question. If you're leading marketing, I think there's one question worth asking yourself. Can I clearly explain how our marketing activity contributes to the business strategy? Not just we increase engagement, we reach the right audience, we increase qualified traffic, we influence target accounts, we supported sales conversations, we generate opportunities, we strengthen our position in the market. That is the language of business. And that is the language marketing leaders need to speak. Now, the next time you're planning a campaign, don't start asking, what should we post? Start with, what does the business need to achieve? Then work backwards. Because the strongest brands aren't simply the brands that get noticed. They are the brands that create trust, influence, preference, and ultimately business value. And perhaps that's the real evolution of marketing, moving from creating attention to creating impact. Thank you for listening, and I'd love to hear from your perspective on how do you measure the connection between brand activity and the real business performance. See you next time!